All right, I now call to order the North Platte Public School District Board of Education organizational meeting. Thank you all for attending the regular meeting of the board. I would like to remind you that school board meetings in Nebraska are meetings held in public, not public meetings. During the public comment section, the public may address the board on agenda items and other miscellaneous topics. Sheila, can I please get roll call?
Joanne
Present.
Emily Garrett.
Present.
Cindy O'Connor.
Present.
Skip Ballsy.
Present.
Angela Blake.
Present.
Mitch Wagner.
Present.
All right, and our mission statement, North Platte Public Schools is a destination school district and community that embraces innovative opportunities and distinguished programs to create highly competitive advantages for all students, instilling the canteen spirit in an evolving world. The canteen spirit embodies generosity, selflessness, and unwavering support through service, pride, collaboration, and grit. The Nebraska Open Meetings Act legislates the methods by which public meetings are conducted. Information pertaining to this act is posted here in the boardroom. Please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, we will be installing a new board member. So as of Thursday, board member Mitch Wagner was appointed to our vacant seats. So he is going to be administering his oath of office in written form. So Mitch, here's your opportunity to do so. And then Sheila, our board clerk, will file that. And welcome to the board. Thank you. All right, at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the publication of the January 12th, 2026 regular meeting of the Board of Education.
I'll make a motion to approve the publication of the January 12th, 2026 regular meeting of the Board of Education. I second.
Notices of Board of Education meetings and hearings are placed in the North Platte Telegraph and the North Platte Bulletin. The agenda is also available online at www.nppsd.org 4 days prior to each regular meeting of the North Platte Board of Education. Sheila, can we get roll call on that, please?
Emily Garrett.
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Skip Ballsy.
Aye.
Angela Blake.
Aye.
Mitch Wagner.
Aye.
Joanne Garrett.
Aye.
Motion passes. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda for the January 12th, 2026 regular meeting of the Board of Education.
I motion to approve the agenda for the January 12th, 2026 regular meeting of the Board of Education.
Second.
All right. Roll call, please, Sheila.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Skip Ballsy.
Aye.
Angela Blake.
Aye.
Mitch Wagner.
Aye.
Joanne Garrett.
Aye.
Emily Garrett.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, this evening we will be going through the process of reorganization of the board. So we have 3 seats on the board as part of our executive council that we will open up for nominations. Those nominations do need a second per our policy on that. Once nominations have ceased, then we will close nominations and we will use a ballot to vote for those positions. So at this time, nominations are now open for the office of board president.
I would like to nominate Emily Garrett as Board of Education President. Second.
I would like to nominate Joanne Lundgren for president.
I'm going to decline the nomination. Thank you.
Any further nominations? Okay. Hearing none, nominations are now closed. We will proceed to a ballot vote for board president. So at the top, if you'll just make sure that you indicate that this is the vote for president, mark your choice.
4 for Aaron Gary and 1 for Cindy Poe.
Okay. The motion carries, and I will continue serving in the role of president. At this time, I will now open nominations for the role of board vice president.
I nominate Joanne Lundgren for vice president. Second.
Are there any further nominations? All right, seeing as there are multiple nominations that have been posed and seconded here, and I assume accepted by both parties, we will open this up for discussion if there is any. So if anybody wishes to share or ask anything, you may. I'm not forcing you, but you're sure welcome to share. Any discussion or questions? Okay, if you will please take vote on your ballot for the office of vice president. Thank you. We will go ahead and go to our nominations for Board of Education Secretary. So I will open this for nominations now.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I nominate Cindy O'Connor for secretary.
I'll second.
I nominate Joanne Lundgren for secretary.
I second.
Okay, seeing as there are more than one nomination here, is there any discussion or questions that any board members wish to have? Okay, you'll go ahead and place your vote on your ballot, please. Okay. All right, at this time, I would entertain a motion to appoint Sheila Furley as the Board of Education Clerk.
I'll make a motion to appoint Sheila Furley as the Board of Education clerk.
Did she say 3 for Cindy, 2 and 1?
She did, yes.
That's not a majority.
All right, let's look up what our policy says, how the language works. Before we move on, thank you, Skip, for bringing that up. All right, my computer's not as fast as my clicking, apparently. Okay, so it is the language of a majority. Thank you, Skip. So we do need a majority of the board, not just the most votes for one individual. So in this case, with 6 sitting board members present, we do need 4 votes for somebody to move on. So per our policy, we can vote up to 5 times total
Yep.
on this. And then at that point, we essentially flip a coin if there's not a motion that carries there. So at this time, we will go ahead. I will open it up if there is any discussion again before we take a vote. And if not, we will go ahead and vote again for the office of secretary. Okay. Thank you. All right, now we are ready to move on for a motion to appoint Sheila Furley as the Board of Education clerk.
I'll make that motion again.
Second.
Okay, excellent. And just so that individuals know, because we do have a new board member, appointing Sheila to this role gives her the awesome privilege of writing our minutes for us and doing some other things here with the board. So we really appreciate Sheila in that role. Are there any questions or discussions surrounding this? All right, we'll call that to a vote, please.
Emily Garrett,
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor,
Aye.
Skip Alton.
Aye.
Aye.
Mitch Wagner.
Aye.
Joanne Linden.
Aye.
All right, sorry, Sheila, motion passes. Okay. In a similar nature, I would entertain a motion now to appoint Dr. Damon McDonald, the Executive Director of Finance, Facilities, and Operations of North Platte Public Schools as the ex officio treasurer.
So moved.
I second.
Okay. And in a similar nature, this has historically always been the person that is in that finance role. We're happy to have Dr. McDonald serve in this role. Is there any discussion or any questions about that? Okay, roll call, please.
Cindy O'Connor,
Aye.
Skip Alton.
Aye.
Angela Blake.
Aye.
Mitch Wagner.
Aye.
Joanne Linden.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, I would entertain a motion to appoint Dr. Damon McDonald as the fiscal agent for North Platte Public Schools.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Skip Alton.
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Okay, at this time, we will open it up a motion to appoint a member as board liaison to the North Platte Public Schools Foundation. This past year, this has been Skip, who has been serving in this role. Skip, before we take a motion, are you interested in serving
Yes.
again? Okay. So my recommendation as board president would be to have Skip continue serving in this role, but I will entertain a motion however the board sees fit.
I'll make a motion to appoint Skip Altsay as member or board liaison to the North Platte School Foundation.
I second.
Okay, any discussion? Thank you, Skip, for serving in that role. We appreciate that. We'll call that to a vote, please.
Angela Blake.
Aye.
Mitch Wagner.
Aye.
Joanne Linden.
Aye.
Emily Garrett.
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Abstain.
All right, motion passes. Okay, at this time, we will entertain a motion to appoint 3 board members to the Committee on American Civics and refresh my memory. We have 2. Justin was one of those.
I think I was.
You were
one.
the other and you were the third, correct? This committee doesn't actually meet now that we're committee of the whole, is that
No,
correct?
you're
Haven't
required by state statute to have an Americanism committee.
Yeah.
We do all the reporting at the committee of the whole. We will have that report on January 29th, and teaching and learning. Mrs. Douglas and Mrs. Carlson will reach out to the 3 individuals that are appointed to kind of go over the report.
Perfect. Okay, so I would open this up if there are board members that are interested in serving on that committee. My recommendation is maybe that we would keep those 2 the same, so we have some consistency, but if there is a 3rd board member that's interested, I am happy to fill that 3rd seat however you see fit.
Sure.
Okay. So my recommendation would be to appoint board members Joanne Lundgreen, Angela Blazey, and Cindy O'Connor to the Committee on American Civics. Do I have a motion?
Okay, I am moved to appoint Joanne Lungreen, Cindy O'Connor, Angela Blazey to the Committee on American Civics.
I second.
Any further discussion? All right, roll call, Sheila, please.
Mitch Wagner.
Aye.
Joanne Lindsay.
Aye.
Emily Garrett.
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Skip Ball.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you guys for being willing to serve on that committee. All right, moving on to the communications portion of our meeting tonight. We do have our special presentation for our December Bulldogs of the Month. So we're going to welcome up Mr. Spatansky to introduce them to us.
Here we are, just a few months away from the end of the school year. It's hard to believe that 4 more of these recognitions are remaining this school year, but tonight we have to recognize 2 outstanding young people, Mr. Will Rathjen and Miss Kiki Williams. And we'll start off with Miss Williams.
Hi.
Hi.
First I want to introduce my mom, my little sister, my grandpa, and my friends Ava and Savannah, who all came to support today. Some activities I participated in during my 3 years of high school were volleyball, basketball, track, and some groups I have participated in as Student Advisory and National Honor Society. My favorite high school experience has just been getting to know new people through sports, school, creating new bonds and relationships with everyone. And after graduation, I plan to attend Mid-Plains to get my associates in science and then eventually continue to a 4-year university to go into vet sciences. And while I'm there, I'm going to continue my athletic career in playing volleyball.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me tonight, everyone. And my name is Will Ratchen, and my family members in attendance are my mom and dad, Heather and Jared Childers, and my grandparents, John and Maureen Childers. My activities in high school were wrestling, football, and freshman year I did track, but I found out I wasn't very fast, so it didn't last too long. But and then I do 4-H and I show cows in the summer, so that's fun. And my favorite high school memory was probably senior year football. It was just a lot of fun making memories with my friends and, the bond and brotherhood we shared together and just really memorable. And then after high school, I plan to attend a 4-year university, possibly UNK or UNL, and am thinking about pursuing possibly wrestling. So.
Thank you. All right, we will have you come forward for a picture.
Oh, come on, smile. Just me, right? Perfect. I told them they could go.
Yeah, thank you. We'll let
Go
them.
ahead. Might as well go.
All right. Well, welcome, Terry. We're excited for our foundation report and staff recognitions.
Thank you. Good evening to everyone. The foundation had a successful year in giving campaign with raising over 30,000 to support all of our programs. So we're very gracious about that. It was a little bit of a downturn from previous years, but we're kind of blaming that on the economy and things like that. As you know, Mr. McFarland's wife, Rosie, passed away last month. Their memorials went towards the Bob and Rosie McFarland scholarship that they had already set aside with the foundation. So they've raised several more dollars to be able to do 4 scholarships to graduating seniors. And it's pretty much endowed for quite some time. So we're very excited about that. Our classroom reach grants last month took a little bit of a break since we had a break. We did award over 1,300 for 2 classrooms. Prior to the break, we went over to the high school and visited Mr. Zog. And he received some funds for a drift trike that I know Mr. Spatansky is very excited about for the students to build as well. And last week we went to Lincoln to visit Mrs. Kammer to help with the Sing Around Nebraska that will bring 4th, 5th, and 6th graders together from across the state. There will be a performance this Saturday at the high school at the PAC, and tickets can be found at Eventbrite. Tonight, we're also pleased to spotlight a few outstanding employees. Employees and teachers, when your name is called, please stand and remain standing until all 4 of you have been recognized. Then you will come forward for a photo with the board. This month, the Foundation and Nebraska Land Bank are proud to recognize employees from Madison Middle School and Lincoln Elementary. I'd like to invite Volley, yep, there she is, Mrs. Volley and Miss Allen to come forward as we begin with Madison honorees, and then we'll move to Lincoln. You can both come forward. Come on. You were yours, right? Yours. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm excited to be here and honor these special guests. Mrs. Gilbert is our nomination for Employee of the Month as far as administrative assistant goes. And Ms. Gilbert is often seen as the heart of Madison. The majority of the time, one of the first faces you see when entering the building or the voice that you hear when you call the school. Her dedication, organization, and genuine care for others keep our school running smoothly each day. She supports students, family, and staff with professionalism, warmth, and a positive attitude, setting the tone of our front office in our school. Wendy anticipates needs, handles challenges calmly, and builds strong relationships through her kindness and patience. She is a dependable team player who consistently goes above and beyond. Wendy embodies the values of Madison and is very deserving of this award. And then my other nomination was for Teacher of the Month, and that was Miss Henny. Miss Henny is an excellent educator who is dedicated, and her passion for teaching is evident in all she does. Her well-planned lesson plans engage students in meaningful learning through collaboration, inquiry, and critical thinking. Her classroom is a positive, respectful environment where expectations are clear and students feel supported and inspired to succeed. Beyond the classroom, Ms. Henny is a leader in our school. She supports science instruction and assessments, contributes strongly to her content and grade level teams, and serves as the student council sponsor, helping build support and student leadership in our school spirit. Her commitment to students, colleagues, and our school community makes her a very deserving teacher. So thank you, Henny.
And from Lincoln, we're happy to recognize paraprofessional Jenna Schluntz. Jenna is always willing to help out and lend a hand anywhere. She's jumped into offering interventions. She assists with any student that needs help. She's consistently at school, which we always appreciate, with a smile. And so she is our recipient for that. And our teacher is third grade teacher Zach Larson, who has really gone above and beyond this year. Every time I have visitors to the building, they pop into Mr. Larson's room and I hear compliments, which I love. It's so fun to watch how the students are learning, how he's interacting with students to make sure that they are understanding what is going on and resolving issues in a calm manner. He's also worked with multiple teachers to collaborate on interventions during our PLC time and has had great success in working with students through their MAP scores and various interventions. And also I taught him. So both are very proud grads for NPHS.
All right, at this time, we'll have you guys come front and center for the photo.
Congratulations. Must have been sick of a little bit. Papers off.
All right. At this time, we will move on to the public comment portion of our meeting agenda. Public questions and comments may take place at this time in the agenda. Individuals who want to address the board must complete a guidelines for public comments form with the date, topic addressing, name, address, and the name of any organization you represent, and give it to the board clerk prior to the meeting. Sheila, do we have any? Okay, I won't make you listen to the rest of the spiel then. All right. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, a consent agenda, also known by Robert's Rules of Order as a consent calendar, groups routine meeting discussion points into a single agenda item. In so doing, the grouped items can be approved in one action rather than through the filing of multiple motions. Documentation concerning these items has been provided to all board members and the public in advance to assure an extensive and thorough review. Items may be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any board member. So tonight's consent agenda includes 12.1, approve the minutes of the December 8th, 2025 regular meeting of the Board of Education. 12.2, approve the teaching contract of Joshua Rogers, effective for the 2026-2027 school year. 12.3, approve the nursing contract for Denise Smith, effective January 5th, 2026. 12.4, retract the resignation of Stacy Magallanes. Did I say that remotely correctly? 12.5, approve the resignation of Rebecca Holland effective December 19th, 2025. 12.6, accept the resignation of school nurse Amanda Gilmore effective December 31st, 2025. 12.7, accept the resignation of Misty Roberts Ham effective on or about May 15th, 2026. 12.8, accept the resignation of Jasmine Smith effective on or about May 15th, 2026. And 12.9, accept the resignation of Erin McCoy effective June 30th, 2026. And finally, 12.10, approve the financial claims and reports. This month, it was Mr. Altig and myself that had our claims audit. Did you have anything you wanted to share, or recommendation to make?
No,
Skip?
no, it went very well.
Yes, I think we had lots of questions for Dr. McDonald and Janelle, so thank you for answering those. And my recommendation, and I assume Skip's is the same, is that we would approve the financial claims and reports for this month.
Yes.
Is there any further discussion or questions about any of these consent agenda items? Okay. Hearing none. Sheila, can we take a vote?
Drew Allen Green. Aye. Emily Garrett.
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
Andrew Lee.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. We do have a couple of reports and discussion items tonight. So the first is going to be our monthly financial and budget report with Dr. McDonald. So board members, you do have a packet there in front of you. And those in the audience, you'll be able to see this on the screen.
Thank you. Yes, everybody has their packet in front of you. Thank you. And just kind of want to go over the general fund that we see it through December currently. It does give you a running total there from the beginning of the year. You can see where receipts were at the beginning of the year. And then throughout September, October, November, and currently December, as well as the expenditures. Our current receipts for the month of December are $5,392,748.46. And our current expenditures for the month were $4,087,175.52. Continue down those two columns, you will see the totals and averages so far for each of the receipts and expenditures. Our current cash on hand for the month is a negative $1,770,780.49. We do have a line of credit with Nebraska Land Bank currently at $2,500,000. And then if you continue to go over clear to the right, you will see our payroll and payables for each of the 4 months. And then the monthly average there is at the end of those columns. The good news is currently we are almost 4% under budget through December. And so as school districts look, typically the larger receipt months have typically been in September and then again in January. And then around that May and June timeframe. But with the state now providing those school property tax credits and school credits typically will be in March, maybe the first part of April. So that is what we are anticipating as the larger receipt month moving forward. And so we will continue to monitor the receipts or expenditures and then obviously we want to pay off the line of credit when we can. But then at the bottom, the cash flow chart is at the bottom there, and you can see kind of the ebbs and flows of receipts in the green, and then the expenditures are in the red. And as far as the line is concerned within the graph. So any questions on the general fund?
I just have one. Can you talk a little bit about the variance in the payroll from month to month?
Well, so like your variance would just be within, there may be a few staffing changes here and there, depending on if we've retained staff, hired on new staff based on current needs, could be with examples maybe in maintenance, maybe paraprofessionals. And then it also depends on the days of the month as well, as far as the time worked. And so there's some variances with that as well.
Okay, thank you.
So probably, if I could interject, probably the biggest thing you'll see between the months of October, November and December is the holiday seasons are in there. So you have some hourly people that they don't work during those holiday breaks that we have. So that's probably the biggest difference.
Okay.
The next sheet is just our cash flow report. As you can see, the beginning cash with all of our funds there. And the second column, the revenues throughout the month, expenses, and then the ending cash balances. So again, the general fund is the fund that oversees all of what's going on within the district. Your depreciation, employee benefit, activity funds, school lunch fund, bonds, special building, qualified capital purpose undertaking, and cooperative fund are all funds that are outside the general fund. Again, your taxing funds are your general fund, your special building fund, and your qualified capital purpose undertaking. Those are the three funds that outline your levy each and every year. Right now, we're using some inter-fund deposits to support our general fund. And so what happens there is any school district can utilize interfund deposits to support the general fund is in a negative balance. And then whenever that district receives receipts throughout the course of the year, then those funds are put back within to balance those funds again, so that those balances remain the same. And then those accounts, such as your activity accounts, are still moving forward within what they're trying to do throughout the course of the school year. So within the audit itself, you have to make sure that those funds balance throughout at the end of the auditing season. So there isn't additional receipts that continue to be within the general fund from, say, the activity or the depreciation. You have to make sure that you're depreciating your activity, all of those funds remain the same throughout the course of the year as those funds are utilized. So you can't just take, again, you can't take from the activities fund to support the general fund without paying the activity fund back, as an example. So
Are there any of those funds that you can't borrow from?
say that again.
Are there any of the funds that you can't borrow from? For example, QC Puff, is that one that you can borrow from as long as you pay it back, or are there limitations on those?
Yeah, that's still an interfund. And the bank, so like your bank reconciliation just looks at the total amount, the total dollar amount for the district. They don't necessarily look at a split within those funds. It's just the district itself within your fund accounting is looking at separate accounts and what those dollars are earmarked for within those accounts.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Cash flow.
So even with our borrowed 2.5, we're still 1.7 in the hole.
Correct. Okay. The next sheet is just your enrollment comparison. And you can see again, the top represents your kindergarten through 12th grade. There is a 27.1% drop in the high school, but that is because of your midterm graduation. So that is the variance there. You can see the percentage of increase or decrease from December 3rd through January 7th. And going towards the middle, it gives an account of all grades or all buildings, excuse me, and their enrollment. Gives you Buffalo for preschool, 6 pence, and also Bertha 5 numbers.
Dr. McDonald, how difficult would it be for you to add a column in our enrollment comparisons of like maybe last year at the same time and like the year prior, just as we're looking at our strategic plan and those long-term goals of hopefully growing enrollment? It would be awesome to be able to compare year over year too. Would that be something feasible to do?
Yeah, no, that would be pretty good.
Okay.
I think what I'll do is just, I think September 30th, October 1st is the deadline for those enrollments for schools. And so I'll just mark it as October 1 of 24 and October 1 of 25, and then just give a comparison of so.
Okay. I think that would be really good, just looking at kind of long-term trends, but I do like seeing this month to month because there are things then that stand out, like this early graduation and things like that, that we can see where those dips or where growth is coming from. So
Sure.
Thank you.
The next sheet is just the bank reconciliation, so that you can see with the bank reconciliation, it also matches our cash flow report as well. So those are just the same numbers. The other thing that I was asked to report on is just the reallocation of state aid. As you know, that this year, Omaha Public Schools in error by the Nebraska Department of Education was given an additional $30.5 million in state aid. Those funds will be reallocated across the state of Nebraska schools for the 26-27 school year. Our allocation from that will be $445,842. And so we will see those funds as far as state aid next year as we look to balance that budget as well. So again, the state aid numbers, they do fluctuate based on enrollment, valuations, and then any type of legislative action within unicameral, so it's hard for just any long-term planning there, but at the same time, we are gonna see those reallocation of funds and be able to earmark those funds for the ways that we want to balance that budget, so. Any questions that were asked?
Okay, thank you, Dr. McDonald.
Thank you.
All right, our next item is a legislative update, and we are going to hear from Mr. Altig on a report from his meeting earlier today.
You aren't gonna hear very much. Right now, I thought we had a Zoom today. We do not. Our Zooms start next Monday. But right now, the legislature is tied up mainly with dealing with one of the state senators that they might expel here in the next couple days. There've been a few bills that have been introduced, but not that many. That will come after this is done. And remember, it's also just a 60-day session. So they have to also find the $471 million that they're going to be short. So I would, within the next 10 days, I'm going to say you will know a lot, because by then the ending of introduction of bills will happen. But I can tell you, and I think I said this last time, Speaker Arch has said, if you have a bill that has a monetary point to it, don't even introduce it, because it's not going to make the floor. So
Okay,
I'll have a lot more than next meetings.
sounds good. Dr. Rhodes, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
Well, I think as Mr. Altig said, we're in day 4, and today they had the hearing on the expulsion, and that came out of the exec committee, a 9-0 vote to hit the floor. So that'll be debated tomorrow. I don't know. It's hard to tell how long that debate will take. I believe there actually, as of today, have been about 250 new bills that have been introduced that bill writers are going through. And I would just mention this, we received some communication from GNSA that it looks like Senator Jana Hughes from Seward has put together kind of a school finance proposal on TO. I don't know if that's has a bill number as of yet. But just as I kind of perused some of the handwriting on it, it looks like levies would be consistent across the state between 30 and 50 cents. There would be some changes within local effort rate. I think land ag drops from 75% within the formula to, I believe, down to 50% or somewhere along those lines. And I believe all other industry, residential moves from 85 to 75%, I believe. So a future education fund is one of the pots of money they would pull from that would come in as a state resource. And then there's another fund that she's looking at as well. So we'll just we know that it's going to be a topic down at Lincoln, and we'll keep you up to speed as we go through. But we certainly know that school funding is going to be it'll probably have many bills as we go through.
Thank you. Okay, do any board members have any questions for either of them? All right. Okay. All right, we will now move on to our action items for this evening. So I would entertain a motion to approve the designated depositories as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the designated depositories.
I second.
Okay, and there is an attachment here that lists those. One of the annual ministerial duties of the Board of Education is to approve depositories for the school district's funds. Generally, we recommend approving every financial institution in North Platte, even though we don't necessarily invest funds in all of them. Dr. Rhodes, do you have anything discussion-wise you want to add to this?
I think this is just good practice. If you'd ever get to the point in terms of solvency within the district, you might invest CDs in various institutions across our community. And it's just good practice to be very open with that and kind of be community based if we were able to be at that point. So.
Okay. Any questions from board members or discussion on this? Okay, hearing none. Sheila, roll call.
Ellen Garrett,
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Skip Paul,
Aye.
Aye.
Mitch Wagner,
Aye.
Ellen
Aye.
Motion passes. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the North Platte Public School Board of Education calendar and location as presented.
I move to set the Board of Education meeting calendar for 2026.
Second.
Okay. And again, there is an attachment there. So if you pull that up, board members, there are all meeting dates listed there. These are the regular meeting dates of the board. So they are the second Monday of each month, 5:30 right here in the McKinley Education Center. And does anybody have any questions? All right. Hearing none. Sheila?
Can I, sorry, can
Yep,
I make
sure.
a note? I
Absolutely.
think there was one date that I might be wrong, but it seemed like it was moved off of the regular Monday, but I think it was because of Easter.
Oh, the April date.
Yep.
Probably.
Just
Yes.
a note
Yeah,
on that.
Great note. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
So that's on a Tuesday then?
No, it's still on a Monday. It's just not
just
on
the following.
Monday. Yeah, it's not the normal Monday. It's not
Mhm.
the second Monday of the month. It's like the third.
Because we changed district calendar to not have school on that Monday.
Well, and it's,
Correct.
yeah.
The one
I
it
think
would have originally
might
fell
have
on.
to be more in line with the Easter holiday, maybe, even though Easter's on Sunday, but yeah, I just noticed that when I was calendaring today, so.
Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate that. All right. Sheila?
Cindy O'Connor,
Aye.
Skip Paul,
Aye.
Ellen Garrett,
Aye.
Mitch Wagner,
Aye.
Ellen
Aye.
Aye. Okay. I would now entertain a motion to readopt Board Code of Ethics Policy 2012.
I'll make a motion to readopt Board Code of Ethics Policy 2012.
I second.
Okay, and there are several attachments here tonight. So just a reminder to each board member, we do have a conflict of interest form. So if you have a business or anything that may potentially create a conflict of interest within the district, we ask that you fill out that disclosure form. In addition, I would ask that each board member, if you have not already in preparation for tonight's board meeting, that you just review that code of ethics. I think it's always a great review for us to look at that and kind of have that reminder and refresh every January of how we serve here on this board. Are there any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none. Sheila?
Skip Paul,
Aye.
Andrew Blakey,
Aye.
Mitch Wagner,
Aye.
Ellen Garrett,
Aye.
Ellen Garrett,
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to readopt meeting policy 2008.
I'll make a motion to readopt means policy 2008.
Second.
Okay. It is suggested each year that the Board of Education review and readopt this policy concerning board meetings, including the method of providing public notice of school board meetings. So if you open that policy, we did just recently go under a pretty thorough policy review. So most of our policies are pretty well caught up to speed for what we are doing and wish to be doing moving forward. But there are some things in there that we've made some changes to over the last couple of years. So just make sure that there are no questions on that. Is there any discussion? Okay. Sheila?
Andrew Blakey, aye, Mitch Wagner,
Aye.
Aye.
Ellen Garrett,
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Skip Paul,
Aye.
Motion passes. I would now entertain a motion to approve the date, time, and location of the monthly committee of the whole as presented.
I make a motion to set the meeting date and time for the committee of the whole policy 2002A.
Second.
Okay, and just as a refresher, this policy was adopted on December 11th, 2023. So actually prior to that time, the board was meeting in subcommittee prior to our regular meeting of the board. And at that time, we changed it to committee of the whole. And so according to that policy, we will review the date and time of the committee of the whole meetings annually at the January board reorganization meeting. So that is what we are doing here. There is a calendar. There is potential that there might be some dates or locations that change on there. As we do rotate across the district in our different buildings, sometimes there are things that come up with scheduling in those buildings. So it is potentially subject to change. But as of right now, This is the tentative plan that we are looking at with those committee of the whole meetings. Are there any questions? Okay, hearing none. Sheila?
Mitch Wagner.
Aye.
Joanne Green.
Aye.
Emily Garrett.
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Skip Falcon.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, I will now entertain a motion to approve KSB Law as legal counsel for North Platte Public Schools.
I'll make a motion to approve KSB Law as legal counsel for public schools.
Second.
Okay. Each year, the schools designate a law firm to provide the school district with counsel. Dr. Rhodes, how many years have we used KSB? Do you know at what point we switched from? Before my time, I know.
Yeah, that.
It was before his as well.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
probably been 7 or 8 years,
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
Yeah,
imagine.
it's been even before me, so.
Okay.
It's been a while.
It's been a while then.
Mhm.
So KSB, there are typically a couple of law firms that provide legal counsel to school districts. KSB is the one that our district has chosen and worked with for a number of years. And they have been, I would say, extraordinarily helpful when it comes to our policy review and other issues that come up in the district. So I would entertain any discussion or questions on this, but my recommendation is certainly that we
Oh, yes.
continue with them.
They are very good. Very, very good.
Yes. Okay. Hearing no further discussion, Sheila?
Joanne Green.
Aye.
Emily Garrett.
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Skip Falcon.
Aye.
Angela White.
Aye.
Mitch Wagner.
Motion passes. Okay, I would now entertain a motion to approve both the North Platte Telegraph and North Platte Bulletin as newspapers of record.
I make a motion to approve the North Platte Telegraph and North Platte Bulletin as newspapers of record.
Second.
Excellent. So again, each year in this fun reorganization meeting, the Board of Education designates the official district newspaper of record. Our recommendation is that we designate both of our local papers to this role. Are there any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none. Sheila?
Emily Garrett.
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Skip Falcon.
Aye.
Angela White.
Aye.
Mitch Wagner.
Aye.
Joanne Green.
Aye.
Motion passes. I will now entertain a motion to appoint Mr. Kevin Mills, Director of Human Resources, as the Non-Discrimination Compliance Coordinator.
I'll make a motion to appoint Mr. Kevin Mills, Director of Human Resources, as the Non-Discrimination Compliance Coordinator.
Second.
Okay. And again, this is something each year that we appoint our Non-Discrimination Compliance Coordinator to meet federal equal employment opportunity requirements. The recommendation is that in the district is always to appoint the Human Resources Director, which is Kevin Mills, for this role. And then you'll see the accompanying policy there, attached policy 3053, which is our non-discrimination policy. Are there any questions and discussion? Okay, hearing none. Sheila?
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Skip Falcon.
Aye.
Angela White.
Aye.
Mitch Wagner.
Aye.
Joanne Green.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right. I would now entertain a motion to appoint Human Resources Director Kevin Mills as the Title IX Compliance Coordinator for Employee Affairs and Brandy Busher, Student Services Director for Student Affairs Coordinator.
I motion to appoint Kevin Mills as Title IX Compliance Coordinator, Policy 2006.
And
And
Brandy Busher.
Oh, and Brandy
For
Busher.
student.
Yes, for the student.
Second.
all right. Again, each year, the district must appoint the district's Title IX coordinators. We recommend the appointment of Kevin Mills, HR Director for the Employee Affairs Coordinator, and then Brandy Busher, Student Services Director for Student Affairs Coordinator. Do we have any questions or discussion on that? I'm not sure anybody else is jumping at the bit to do either of those jobs, so thank you guys for doing that. Hearing no further discussion, Sheila?
Skip Falcon.
Aye.
Angela White.
Aye.
Mitch Wagner.
Aye.
Joanne Green.
Aye.
Emily Garrett.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes. Our last agenda item for tonight is to approve our 2026 superintendent goals, which are attached there. Mitch, I will share this document with you as well, now that you have taken your oath of office. There are some additional personnel related things on the internal document, but the goals that we are looking at approving tonight align with the evaluation that we have completed. So apologies, you're walking in a little bit middle of this, but I would entertain a motion before we open up for discussion to approve the 2026 superintendent goals as presented.
I move to approve the 2026 superintendent goals.
I second.
Okay. Excellent. So now we will open this up if there is any further discussion. These have been discussed kind of in a series of things. So we started with our superintendent evaluation. Those results were compiled by NASB that provides that service for us. The board then discussed and we identified our 3 key areas of potential growth aligned exactly with Dr. Rhodes' 3 key areas of potential growth. And so those became the overarching themes for our goals. So superintendent goal 1 falls under the category of mission, vision, and I believe there says values, but we changed to strategic plan implementation. And that goal reads, the superintendent works collaboratively with the board to define, adopt, and institute the district mission, vision, and goals, ensuring the systematic implementation and monitoring of the NPPS strategic plan to advance high-quality education, academic success, and the well-being of each student. And there are 2 indicators here, strength and alignment between board work and the strategic plan, and 2, document and communicate notable progress towards strategic plan goals. So before we move on to superintendent goal 2, is there any discussion or questions on goal 1?
Not really. I think we pretty well discussed this in 2 separate executive sessions. So I think that's pretty clear. And Dr. Rhodes was agreeable. So.
Absolutely. Okay. Mitch, catching up on the swing of things. Do you have any questions about goal 1?
Not yet, no.
Okay. Superintendent goal 2 falls under the category of community engagement. The superintendent fosters meaningful reciprocal engagement with families, staff, community partners, and the NPPS Foundation in order to enhance educational opportunities, increase stakeholder participation, and support the ongoing implementation and monitoring of the NPPS strategic plan. And there are 2 indicators there. Increased transparency and stakeholder engagement regarding district progress and strengthen community partnerships to support student opportunities. Anything additional on there worthy of discussion? Questions? Okay. And our 3rd goal, organizational leadership, culture, and governance relations. The superintendent provides effective educational leadership that cultivates a positive organizational culture, improves internal clarity and structure, and builds a collaborative, trust-based working relationship with the Board of Education in alignment with the strategic plan. 2 indicators there are develop a culture of mutual trust, open communication, and transparency to build a positive organizational culture, and 2, improve organizational clarity and accountability. So the one thing I would say before we open up for any further discussion, if there is any, is 1, there has been a lot of collaboration on the development of these already, both amongst the board and with Dr. Rhodes. And I think that I want to make sure that we reiterate here that these goals are not necessarily saying these things are not already happening, but they're things that are being developed as part of our strategic plan. And we wanted to be really intentional with the way that we evaluate and set goals moving forward, that those goals are furthering the strategic plan as well. So these are the areas that were identified by the board of areas of growth that would be within Dr. Rhodes' purview to help us further that plan. Is there any discussion on that? Dr. Rhodes, did you have anything on those? Okay. Okay. Hearing no discussion, Sheila.
Angela Blazy.
Aye.
Mitch Wagner.
Aye.
Madeline Reed.
Aye.
Emily Garrett.
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Sid Long.
Aye.
Okay. That motion passes. So taking a look at our future board calendar, tomorrow morning, we will have Joanne and Dr. Rhodes on the radio for Mugs in the Morning. Tomorrow evening, we will, I think Mitch, are you able to attend tomorrow evening?
That was part of it.
Part of it? Okay. So I think all of us, no.
I had to
you will not.
withdraw. I have a granddaughter's basketball game.
That's an acceptable reason. Yes. Good luck to them. So we will be at the ESU 15 and 16 board member workshop tomorrow evening. That has been moved to the ESU, not at the high school. So make sure you make note of that, board members. School board member week is January 25th through the 31st, which I believe is why we have these lovely gifts from Madison here. So thank you to Madison Middle School, Mrs. Volley, for those. Legislative Issues Conference, we have a couple of board members attending that, January 25th, 26th in Lincoln. And then looking forward, we have our committee of the whole meeting January 29th, and then moving into February, you'll see our meetings and trainings listed there. Any questions on any of that? Just a review, since we do have a new board member, if there are any trainings or anything that you wish to attend, we did recently adopt or change our policy. So we just have a short form to fill out if you wish to attend that, and then the board president signs off on that. Okay. If there's no further discussion, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, Sheila?
Aye.
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 All right, meeting adjourned. Might be a record for January.
Wow.